Hello, hello, and welcome back to SnowRunner Hard Mode and an adventure in the P16. Now, if you watched last episode, you'll know what's about to happen. If you didn't watch it, well, maybe now is your chance to go back and find out. But to save you the bother, we're about to head into this kind of swampy, muddy-looking area down here and find ourselves a truck and an upgrade. I hope everyone is well. It is the 2nd of January today, so Happy New Year if you're watching this live. If you're watching it again at any other time of year, that might sound a little bit strange, but hey ho, that's the beauty of YouTube. So I hope everyone had a good New Year's and good Christmas, whichever year you're watching this. And of course, if you do celebrate those things. Now, some of you may have noticed that the last episode ended during nighttime, and this one has kicked off during very early day. I don't deliberately wait for the time to change, but usually before I record each episode, I have a quick look on the map, try and figure out what I'm going to do in the episode. See if there's anything that I need to kind of, if we're moving from one place to another, grab some resources or whatever cargo to save a trip. And while I was doing that today, the game transitioned from nighttime to daytime, because it was quite close to doing so anyway at the end of last episode. And there's a new truck, which I think is one that we can just jump into straight away. We can. It's battered. It's very, very battered. But hopefully the horn still works. So as always, we have the all-important horn test. I don't know why I find that one so funny. It's like a repressed goose or something. So, yeah, TranStar, very, very broken. But what we want to do is jump back into Pacific. We can't winch because it's not turned on. Now it's turned on. I mean, the difference in those horns, goodness. Power goose and baby goose. Anyway, onwards. Close functions. Onwards. Oh. Are we stuck on something? Is it the weight of the TranStar? It might be the mud, to be honest, so let's stop. Yeah, we're a little bogged down in the swamp. It's no surprise, so we can use the winch to pull ourselves out. There you go, yeah, you can see that was a bit of a tricky one. We should be able to grab back onto that. Does that say dangerous fuel level? Probably said dangerous water level, but it looked the other way. This is struggling more than I thought it would. But now we've got going, we might be okay. As long as we... I thought the TranStar was about to get stuck on a tree then, which would have made things an experience. I'm hoping we don't get stuck here, because we're a bit far away from a tree. I think we should be okay now. Just so we can winch ourselves to safety if needed. Back on the kind of what was probably once some sort of road, and we've got to look out for the upgrade. which might be where that marker is. I can't remember what I put there. This is, yeah, this is a struggle. I haven't accidentally left a handbrake on him. That might be why. Does it stay on? Yeah, I think there's a chance that I just had the handbrake on in the TranStar. Yeah, yeah, wow. That was great. Trying to drag it with a handbrake on. Wonderful. Right. So we're going to ditch that there for a second. I'm going to somehow find a way to get this upgrade with a big Pacific. Oh, sugar. Raise, not available for the current truck. What's it for? The Scout 800. Ooh, raising that is a bold move. And she's got a trophy called Deer Hunter. I think that's for getting every upgrade in Michigan, I think. So that might be us done for free upgrades now. Nope, not that. There we go. Yeah, I didn't quite expect to do that much damage squeezing past the car there. Or trying to squeeze past the car. Obviously we didn't really succeed in it. But we have got a maintenance trailer up at the garage, so we can nick a few maintenance points from that and repair it ourselves. We have to be careful because it's one that we need to drop off from mission, but it should be okay. Should be okay. Yeah, this is a lot easier when the thing that you're towing doesn't have a handbrake on. I know I said that and immediately ground into a bit of a hole there, but hey ho. Yeah, the engine's broken on the other truck, so we can't turn it on. Expected. I'll tell you what, I wish you could have four-wheel drive on this truck. So not four-wheel drive, it's already got that, hasn't it? All-wheel drive. Now, the thing is, I'm putting in the effort to rescue this truck, but I don't think it's one I'm going to use. Because it's a highway truck, which to begin with doesn't do it any favours. And it's not a very useful one at that, if I remember correctly. You know, like the GMC, I eventually learned that you can put four-wheel drive on it, you can put a diff lock on it, you can put decent tyres on it, so it actually becomes not the best, but somewhat useful. Whereas I don't necessarily think you can do any of those things with this one. I've got a feeling it just sort of exists. I don't know whether I want to sell it though. Because obviously selling it's going to get us some short-term money, but you never know when an extra truck might be a little bit useful. Now it may be that I'll leave it sat on the side until we potentially go to Alaska, because I doubt I'm going to pay to have it transferred over. And at that point, you know, I'm definitely not going to need it. I don't think we'll need it beforehand, but, you know, I'm not going to rush to sell it anyway. But I also don't think I'm going to rush to repair it. I mean, I could have argued you just left it in the swamp. Depends whether this is worth the effort. But it feels like it's worth the effort. Whether I'm actually going to use it or not, it feels like something we should do. Bit of a tough one here. Slipping, sliding. I think some of the wheels are coming off the ground a little, which has lost us a bit of traction. See, there we go. We're back on now, and away we go. The last big push. Last big push. Let's see. Floating wheels again. But we're there. We are there. So now it should be a fairly straightforward run up to the garage. It's been a little while since we've been here, hasn't it? And if you remember back several episodes ago when I had the absolute disaster with the Fleet Star and the trailer's worth of logs, not logs, wooden planks, that would have been a hell of a lot easier to amend if the Pacific was in our fleet then. Right, back at the garage. So grab ourselves some fuel for the Pacific. place where the TranStar can go in. So the Pacific, we wanted to put a saddle on it. But what I wanted to check was a heavy fuel semi-trailer. So it's the saddle height we need for this mission. And it's saddle low that we wanted for moving the fuel tanker down in... Oh, where was it? Drummond Island? Okay, so that's good to know. While we're looking... Ooh, we've got a better engine that doesn't appear to knacker our fuel consumption in any way, shape or form. So that's good. I won't sell that just yet. Gearbox, can't use. Suspension, nothing. Tyres, nothing. Winch, can't get anything. Snorkel, can't get anything. And the frame, well, we can only have a saddle high. So that answers the internal debate I was having about what to do in regards to whether we put a low or a high on it. So there we go. That is on. Visuals, don't care for that. Don't really care for any of those. Not that we can use them. Don't need that. Some of these look fun, but it's just not worth the money in hard mode, really. And a nice colour for it. I do like this. I kind of think of it as RAF blue because it reminds me of what I think is the kind of bluey grey colour that the RAF used to have on their ground vehicles in the Second World War. Maybe. But it's kind of a quite nice weather-beaten bluish colour. Anyway, we'll leave the Pacific there for now. We'll get the TranStar into the garage, I believe. Let's jump in that. A quick look at what it can do. So, what we actually care about is, so it can have decent tyres, but it can't have four-wheel drive or a diff lock, so it's pretty rough. How much would it be? Just out of pure interest. Is that the button that I want? Retain? That's the wrong thing. Truck storage. How much would we get if we sold it? So 15 grand. So it's not a huge amount. So I'm going to keep it there for now. But we know we've got it anyway. Now, to very much change the pace of this video now, we've gone from big truck to tiny little Chevy. So the reason that we are here in the Chevy again is because I want to get a Scout up to the top of Smithfield Dam again, because there's still some watchtowers to uncover there. But to do that, there's a few little things to do here first. So we're going to kick off with this mission, which is with a little help from my friends. We've got plenty of fuel on us. What I didn't do was actually work out which way to go. So please bear with me. So yeah, my plan is essentially to complete a little help with my friends, head to Drummond Island and do the mission that I can't remember the name of, where we have to get to a little island by the fuel station, and then head on up to Smithfield Dam. Oh, piss. I don't really know how I did that. Clearly bounced off something. Hello, autonomous winch. Yeah, maybe it was that rock. Yeah, one of those big rocks probably did it. Funnily enough. So here's a task that we haven't got. I don't think, anyway. Show task. Another bridge, by the looks of it. We can do lots of bridge repairs down on this map at some point. But yeah, what we're doing now is a slightly convoluted way of essentially getting ourselves back to Smithfield Dam so that we can uncover a little more of the map. Because you've got the kind of northwestern section where there was the watchtower that's in the middle of a bit of a lake. We did drive out to it that one time, but I bottled it in terms of actually going to the watchtower because that was when I was back on the highway tyres. Essentially, I want to uncover that. There's a couple of missions around the area as well that need picking up. Because then from there we can start to hopefully really get on top of contracts and tasks then. I know we've done a few more of those recently anyway. But I'd like to really start ticking them off. There's our, well, I was going to say it's our first point, but we actually tagged one of them in the Fleet Star, I believe. 2 episodes ago, I think, when we were bringing it down towards Drummond Island. Might have even been longer ago than that. But yeah, I did tag one of them. Luckily, these you don't have to do in order. Yeah, it is literally just going to be a case of following this path around. Cool, nice little off-road drive. In the Scout. I do really like these kind of little, I call them get there missions. You know, where you literally just have to reach a point. Because quite often, they can be in places of the map that you probably won't go to otherwise. You know, I don't think there's any real reason to come up this section of the map beyond this mission. So it's fun. It's a fun little trail for a scout. Get some nice kind of views from these higher points. And it's just a different style of driving to a lot of the other kind of SnowRunner driving. Yep, still going the right way. I thought first person might help, but not really. Quick winch saving us from potentially flying over there. Don't want a repeat of what happened on Drummond Island several episodes ago. Hey, there we go. So you don't get a lot of experience or money for these, but they're good fun. Nice little excursion into the mountains there. I believe we're going the right way. Yep. So it's off to Drummond Island now. We'll be able to pick up some fuel on the way. In fact, before we do that, let's just double check that I don't need the scout for any more of these. These are all fixing things. That's delivery. That's delivery. That's delivery. Yeah, no. Don't need the scout. So tourist attraction. That is what we're doing now. And it should be fairly easy to get to. Just got to get through a bit of swamps here. And then we'll be on our way. This bit is exceedingly muddy, but there's enough trees and holes around to be able to get past it with relative ease. Just takes a bit of patience. Yep, more patience than that. Nice, there we go. So something about hard mode that I do think is a bit of a shame, or could have been maybe approached differently. It's the only way to actually repair your bodywork, which includes your lights, is by doing a full repair at a garage. And full repair, I believe, is about 2,500. I'm not sure whether that scales with the type of vehicle you're in, or your different classes, or whether it's just 2,500 for the lot. Now that 2.5 grand fixes all your bodywork, fixes all your lights, and also fixes any damage that you've done to the vehicle. But I think it's a bit of a shame that there isn't a bodywork only option for a reduced price that would just fix bodywork and lights. Because at the moment, if we ever want our 2 headlights to work again on this truck, because we've only got the 2 extra ones there, or if we break those, for example, it's going to be 2,500 to repair them. Even if the truck's at full health in terms of actual physical damage, I know it's not at the moment, but we can repair that with trailers and repair points. So it's a bit of a shame, I think, that there's not a bodywork only repair for a reduced price in the garage. So there's a little SnowRunner rant for you. One of the things that I think could be improved about hard mode is that so we're heading back to this island, back the way that we came when we didn't have a bridge. To be honest, I could have probably gone across and then just dropped down that way, rather than trying to do the full route, but sort of swings and roundabouts, because it's kind of close to equidistant each way. And we've done it before, so we know that we can do it fairly easily. Plenty of things to winch onto. Well, this tree that's in the way here, but we might be able to do our usual winch trick to force it to disappear. There we go. So ideally we should have picked this up before we came to the island for the first time, but we didn't. So we've done it again. See, 30 experience and 500 money. Not great, but it's something. it's muddy here as well. Now we're back at our little micro base. And the first thing we're going to do is just detach these metal beams from this trailer. Because obviously we discovered last episode, I think it was last episode anyway, that it'd be far more helpful to have them unpacked, so if we ever need them again, we don't have to have a scout over here. And then we're going to fill up. And then we're going to do something that could be borderline suicidal with this truck, but it's worth a crack while we're down here. And that is the race with the rain contest. So this is the way that we want to go. So this is either going to give us a shortcut through the map with a completed contest in the bag, or we're going to be in a river and recovering our way back to Smithville. Could be a costly one, but at least scouts aren't too expensive to recover. And if we end up doing that, then it saves us a hell of a lot of driving. It may also be that this is where we really miss having the better gearbox. So time for our first ever goodness. Time for our first ever contest on hard mode. So if I remember correctly, because I do remember doing this before, we have to make our way through here and across these rocks over there. And before accepting, I do want to give myself a decent chance at this. Get those barrels out of the way. I'm also just going to have a quick look at how we get onto those. Yeah, so we can do it from down there. So I think you've got to do this in quite a rapid time to get across, but you can see one wrong move and we're in the river. I'm completely lost as well right now. I think I managed to turn around twice. And of course it's going to be nighttime when we do it. So let's see how this goes. Let's go. So I think to get gold you've got to do it in like a minute and a half or something. Well, that is not how I wanted this to start. I've completely bollocks this up straight away. Like, really badly. Like, extremely badly. Oh dear. Well, we're not getting to the farm in under a minute and a half this time. Wow, this went really badly. I can't even see what I'm trying to do here to fix it. Because the issue I've got is I've not got an easy way to... spin myself around. Right, there we go. You need to come down here and follow it that way. Not go flying into the puddle there. So you only get 3 attempts at contests on hard mode. I'm gonna sack this one off and try it again for the gold. Hopefully not doing what we just did there. I know we could just complete it and get a bronze, but... oh, whoops. But I want to try and get a gold if I can. Right, let's go. So I guess if you do lose the contest 3 times in a row on hard mode, you're just locked out of it and you can't 100% a map? Or is it a case that you can only complete them 3 times? Answers on a postcard, please. Or more appropriately, in the comments. Or I'll just look myself on Google. All viable options, really. Doing this at night probably didn't make it. Sugar. I sort of balls that up a bit. I wanted to put diff lock on, but I accidentally whinged instead. Ah. I think this is gonna knacker me completely. Yeah, stuck. Oh, that's a shame. I almost had it as well. Annoyed. How much is recovery? Yeah, I know that. 2 grand. Or we bring the Fleet Star all the way down there. Might be worth doing, because we've got to get that trailer out anyway, because it's got some cargo on that we want for a future contest. Contract. Well, I don't think this is happening anymore. So the question is, do I bring the Fleet Star down and rescue the Chevy and then take it back for another try, or do I just warp ourselves back to the garage? No, I think I've got to bring the Fleet Star down at least. But then there's the fuel issue. Goodness me. That was going so well as well. And I think I could have rescued it from that rock, but I was a bit fingers and thumbs with the buttons. When I went to put the diff lock on, I didn't hold down the functions button enough, and instead winched onto a tree, which just tipped me over a little bit more, to the point where I don't think I could have rescued myself then. So as we're fairly close to fuel, I'm going to go and fuel up. It would be kind of silly not to. And then we'll rescue the Chevy. But yeah, I think that big flatbed trailer has got cargo on it that is needed for a future contract. I think it's one way to deliver it to the harbour. So, you know, it makes sense to go down there anyway, because we can get that out when we bring the Fleet Star back out. Oh, tree stump. Didn't see that. Am I stuck on something? Yes, a tree stump. Of course. So I do think contests sit a bit weird within SnowRunner, because it's a game that's generally about doing things fairly slow, methodical, being cautious, especially in hard mode. But even normally, you know, a lot of SnowRunner is, as I say, about being cautious and finding the best routes and all that. And then suddenly you've got these little challenges that are like, yo, go do this quickly. And kind of throw caution out the window in the name of speed. Which I suppose mixes it up nicely. does add a different element to the game, but it does sort of sit weirdly within it, at least in my opinion. But yeah, if we balls up attempt 3, I'll answer my own question of whether we lose access to the contest immediately, or it's only something that you can complete 3 times, whether incompleted attempts don't count. But we will find out fairly soon, I imagine. As mentioned last episode, I really need to get this fuel tank moved though to the middle of this map, because it's going to make a lot of difference in terms of doing things like this. Oops. So that was just where I had to set a new video off because of the 1 hour time limit. So, oh, I've missed the turn as well. So yeah, pause to resync the audio, set the video going, and then unpaused and stalled. So that's why there'll be a sudden jump in the music, the video, and a stall out of nowhere. I remember the first time I did this get across the river contest, whenever it was, a year or so ago, whatever. I did it first time, did it first try, and I think it was in the Chevy, although the better gearbox in, I think. So I've either got worse at SnowRunner, or just look at the draw sometimes. How am I going to get a big trail around there? That's one tight-ass corner. Anywho, there's our Chevy. We've got to make sure that we don't accidentally drown it whilst doing this. Blimey, that was a bit dramatic. And we'll get the fleet star out of the way for the next attempt. The question is, can I set up for the next attempt by going back across the river? Or do I just play it safe and go round? Right, I'm going to play it safe and go round, because we can at least stock up the fuel again then. What I probably will do though is, for the first time in this series, I'm probably just going to jump cut to when we're back at the start. Because I don't think it needs a time lapse for this. And it should be a fairly straightforward drive. Obviously, if anything overly dramatic happens, then I won't. But if not, in the interest of a bit of kind of speed, brevity, and lack of complete repetition, I'll see you back at the fuel station. So that little journey took a little bit longer than I thought it would. Obviously it's going to be instantaneous for you watching this, but the good old mud made it quite a slow one in the Chevy. Please let me know what you think about the jump cuts in the comments. I can assure you it's not going to be something I do too often, because completely cutting out content is not the point of making these. But I just felt, as it's just a little reset, driving the exact same route that we did in the Fleet Star, but in the opposite direction, straight away, I just didn't feel it was worth even including as a time lapse. But you may feel differently. You may feel differently. So, if so, let me know in comments. Now we're gearing up for attempt 3. We're going to come at it fairly hot, potentially, by zipping through the start point here. But it's also daytime, so it might be a little easier to work out what we're doing on the rocks now. God, yeah, it's a lot easier to see. Sure. So pro tip, if you're doing this, do it in the daytime. I reckon that would have been much easier from the start had I done it in the daytime. And the crowd goes wild. Wonderful. Third time's a charm. And there's our trailer with all the supplies on that we need for the Fleet Star to come out of here. So out of interest, a race with the rain. So it looks like it's not showing up on the task thing. So it might be because it's completed. So it looks like I can potentially do it again as it's there. Maybe, I don't know for sure. I'm not going to do it again because I don't really like the idea of just rinse and repeating contests in SnowRunner. I keep getting those two the wrong way around. Goodness me. But there we go. We've done it. And yeah, it looks like you can only do 3 successful attempts, but unlimited failed attempts, if that makes sense. Anyhow, I'm going to leave it there for today. Next episode we'll kick off with a long journey back to Smithville and a bit of scouting. And then we'll go from there, because I don't know what happens next, really. So as always, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.